Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Silver continues to get more attractive by the dips. Buy low, sell high. Supposed to buy things when they're cheap, sell them after they appreciate, right? That's investing 101. For some reason, most people buy high and sell low. They do it opposite. You don't want to be one of the people paying $30, $40, $50 for an ounce of silver. That's after silver's already appreciated. We're going to be selling our silver for $30, $40, $50. While people are buying it there after it exploded, after all the hype is there, when it's in the news, all over YouTube, we're going to be the ones selling it to the people. We're going to be cashing out while the other people are paying $30, $40, $50 premiums where we got silver at $15 and they buy it for $50. See, the consumers will turn into the producers, and the producers will turn into the consumers. Now, you're going to say, who's going to pay $50 for an ounce of silver? Well, I never thought anyone would pay $20,000 for one Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin at $1,800 and sold it at $20,000. See, the thing is this herd mentality. People actually buy things the more expensive it is because then there's proof that there's potential there and it's rising, and they see the proof in the pudding and they want a little slice of the pie, not even knowing that a couple months ago or a couple years ago it was much cheaper. They're thinking silver's $50. Well, of course it must be going to $100 then, so I'm going to buy it at $50 and get that 2 times profit. See, it's that herd mentality, and I was reading a lot of articles from 2011 when silver was $50, and a lot of people actually thought silver was going to go much higher. So a lot of people were still paying $50 for an ounce of silver easily, happily. It's not like they were shrugging off. And there's one last thing I want to say on this topic. Not only just investors are going to be paying higher prices for silver, but also big businesses, the people that need silver, not just want silver, but need it. If you want the latest iPhone to come out, you better hope they're still buying silver when it's $50, $100. Because if not, there's going to be extremely high prices for the cost of production, right? So anyways, I just want to share that before we jump into this article. Also, make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new, if you love daily videos. If you love precious metals, this is your guide. This is your channel. With that said, let's jump into it. So, it's been a strong start to the third quarter for silver, or SLV, as the metal is up nearly 5% on the back of an incredible 30% return in quarter 2, solidifying the metal as the third strongest asset for quarter 2, just behind software index and esports. And this is the ETF side of things, but it still talks about, and these markets are essentially the same. It still gives a lot of insight. So despite the outperformance, we still have to squint to find any bulls interested in the trade. Positioning among small speculators remains near 9-month lows, barely recovering from the washout in March and sitting below 40,000 contracts. This continues to be a bullish divergence for the metal, as there is nothing more bullish than an asset that continues to rise with a minimal amount of speculators interested in getting involved. Based on this, the path of least resistance continues to be higher for silver. Let's take a closer look. So as we can see from the chart above, silver, which is the white line, has continued to rise at a rapid pace since it fell off a cliff in mid-March. Yet the 1-month moving average for long positions for small speculators, the blue line, is inching higher at a snail's pace. If we take a look at prior instances when we had a trade that insanely crowded with speculators crawling over themselves to get into the trade, evidenced by long contracts is above 57,000. However, this time around, we're sitting at a reading that is 35% lower at just 33,000 or 36,000 contracts. And the new contracts added each week is showing a modest increase of barely 1,000, the 5-week winning streak for silver. Therefore, as long as small speculator positioning remains below 40,000 contracts, I would expect any corrections in silver to be short-lived. This is because there are tons of neutral and bearish speculators left to convert to bulls, whereas previously everyone that wanted to buy silver was already in, and the metal quickly ran out of steam. So he's talking about, as soon as there's a correction, as soon as silver goes lower, there's going to be a lot of people bullish, and it's going to buy it up. So it's not going to stay low for very long, and they're showing the proof in the pudding right here that anytime silver does drop, you see a huge gain. It tries to drop, huge gain, tries to drop, huge gain. If we take a look at the technical picture, there are a lot to like here as well. With silver's short-term moving average, the teal line crossing above its long-term moving average, the pink line this month. And the last time this occurred, following a prolonged base, was in late 2009. And this was in the middle of the credit crisis. The metal paused for a few months before doubling over the next 2 years, which led to $50 silver in 2011, as we know. So while there's no guarantee that we get a repeat of this scenario the time around, it is quite encouraging to see that this trend finally flipped bullish. Generally, any pullbacks to these moving averages will be bought following a bearish or bullish crossover like this, and therefore I would expect any 10% dips to meet strong buying pressure. So this is going to be the last time we're going to see low silver prices. Finally, from a relative strength standpoint, we also have a silver lining. As we can see above, the silver to gold ratio has yet to reclaim its long-term moving average, but we can see a clear trend of higher highs and lower lows in this ratio. This is a significant change of character and suggests that while we're still quite a distance from breaking through the moving average, this rally might be different. As we can see from previous rallies in the ratio going back to 2017, there was no real structure, and they limped higher in an excited fashion before the uptrend fell apart in 3 months or less. While it's too early to tell if this rally might finally allow the silver to gold ratio to reclaim its moving average, this is a definite step in the right direction. Based on the fact that we have an improvement in the silver to gold ratio, a bullish crossover for the monthly chart of silver, and limited interest in this trade, there's a lot to like about silver currently. However, we're at a pivotal point in this $18.95 level, and it's up to the bulls to prove themselves by breaking above $19 an ounce on a weekly close. And we saw it shortly above $19, but fell right below in the blink of an eye. So if the bulls can achieve this, there is no meaningful resistance until the $22 an ounce level, where multi-year resistance sits. And that's very true. We haven't seen that price in several years. Actually, the last time we even saw something close to that was the July 2016 high of $21. So for now, I continue to see silver as a hold, but I believe that any 10% pullbacks toward the $17.25 level should provide buying opportunities. I prefer to focus on silver miners as they give the most leverage, so I remain long on Silvercrest Metals and Pan American Silver. He's talking about the ETFs, but this is very good points, right? Right now is buying opportunity. If you want to get silver for cheap, right now is the time, because this may be the last time we see anywhere near this low of silver prices, right? If you can fast forward in the future, in a couple of years from now, when silver's $30, $40, you would be wishing you could go back in time to these days, paying $18. Just like people wish they can go back a couple of years and buy Bitcoin for $1,000 and sell it when it hit 20,000, or even nowadays when it's around 10,000. That's still a 10 times profit. See, that's the thing, is right now there's so many distractions with the virus, with the politics, with the economy, with the global, just trade wars and tension. There's a lot going on, so it's kind of hard to focus on something or to stay focused, since there's so many distractions. So you got to remember you got to see the bigger picture. You got to take the lens off, and you got to look at things realistically, not speculatively. There is a lot more speculation in these markets nowadays than I like to admit. I wish that silver was based off of simple tools or simple things like supply and demand, but it's not that simple anymore. It's a lot of gray area, and in that gray area, that's where you got to be careful with, because are you basing your investing strategies off of speculation, off of opinion, off of biased opinion, or are you looking at them realistically and with a pure heart? Because that's going to be the difference between if you get bit in the butt or if you're extremely successful. And like Junius Maltby says, or used to say, the end goal is financial freedom, right? At the end of the day, we're trying to live financially free. It could be about your hobby or whatever your passion, but at the end of the day, we invest into precious metals because we're trying to live financially free. Financial freedom is the end goal, the end result. So if we are investing accordingly, that should lead to that. But a lot of people make mistakes buying high, selling low, panic selling, a lot of distractions, and it can turn ugly very quickly. So anyways, I just wanted to share this article with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be posting some more videos today, but it's gonna be more. It's not gonna be up from these articles. I'm gonna base it more around my old Silver Slayer style content, where I'm just gonna talk completely from my own perspective. No article. I'm not gonna be reading any articles. I'm just gonna be talking from my own perspective, and just kind of lay down what I've been thinking about the precious metal markets. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Check out this article from etfdailynews.com if you want to read it yourself. With that said, thank you for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.